Things like that when, you know, people don't have that kind of experiences.
That's why we're doing this.
Now the Queen Mother of England is still alive. She was born on exactly the same day as Elsie, August the 4th, 1900, and she celebrated her 96th birthday this year also.
Wow.
As the Queen Mother. I don't know her name anymore. Do you?
You know what? I don't even know their last name. There's Prince Charles. What is their?
Was it Windsor?
It's Windsor.
Well,
In Holland, of course, was the House of Orange, Oranje Boven. But I don't know what the House
They
of
never
Orange
say.
is.
They only give. There's Queen
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
Isn't it the House of Windsor?
But I didn't know what house. I didn't understand. So that could be the last name,
Yeah.
I guess. Windsor.
Windsor.
Okay.
well,
Grandpa, that's
she,
really interesting.
the Queen Mother and I share the same birthday.
Yeah.
That's,
She was 96 this year too, and so am I. So they say.
And yesterday, or 2 days ago, our sheriff, Jake
Miller.
Jake Miller, is our sheriff, and his a friend of his threw a little party for him and some of the others that are in the campaign, and she was the promoter, the campaign promoter for General Eisenhower before he became president. And she threw that little party for Jake Miller and some of his friends. I thought, boy, would I like to talk to her. Maybe she had something to do with the campaign that I was on.
Right. Right.
Because I was one of Eisenhower's favorite singers. He always said that to Fred.
Hmm.
Well,
I don't hear anything bad about Eisenhower. You know,
Iron. Who was the?
and then
Was
Nick,
it Iron Ike or what was Eisenhower famous for? Just the.
No, it was
I don't
just
know. Everybody liked him. We got campaign buttons yet. I like Ike.
Yeah, I like Ike.
We got a couple of them.
Fred wrote a song for Mamie. We all love you, Mamie. I forgot the rest of it.
Huh.
But Mamie liked me too. She was the one that wanted me to come to that church and sing for her the first time.
So, are there any presidents you don't like?
No,
I don't care for Clinton.
the first time we sang at the White House was for Roosevelt. Can you imagine that? Our manager was a Democrat, and he promoted a lot of things for the Democrats, where we sang for nothing. Well, we went to the White House, and Vice President Garner threw a party for the president and for all the new cabinet members, and they were all invited to that party. And we were at the White House. We were on the stage, and Fritz Kreisler, did you ever hear that name?
Yeah.
He was also on that program. The greatest violin in the world at that time. And here I was with all those people, and the room was already full. And here comes the new president of the United States, barely able to navigate with two crutches. I thought, holy cats, we elected a cripple. He was terribly crippled. We had never seen him in any other form except in a newspaper from the waist up.
Right.
Even when he was standing, he'd be standing behind a desk
Right.
and holding on to something. But this guy was really crippled. And it's amazing what that man did. Sometimes, he did things that are still very important.
Social Security.
We wouldn't have it without him. He started it. And the WPA put thousands of people to work.
That was Eleanor. That was to do with that.
Yeah, so she was a pretty bright woman too. Never got the credit that
Oh,
she
boy.
deserved.
She's pretty famous.
Oh,
Yeah, she's famous, but she sure was not a nice-looking first lady.
No, but she was very, well,
She was a very intelligent.
intelligent. That's what the word I was thinking of. She was an intelligent woman.
Did she get ridiculed a lot? Like, Nancy Reagan was and like Hillary Clinton is for being, maybe a little too pushy or?
No, they never said anything bad about Eleanor. She just lived quietly and did great things.
But
So
she
like,
was
was she like
pushy.
Barbara Bush or? remember
Well,
that.
she
Everybody, nobody says anything
She
bad about
wasn't, she
Barbara
wasn't
Bush.
like any other first lady that we
No.
ever had since.
She was such a,
Yeah.
she was a doll.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember when Bush was running, then we were in Maine, and then Barbara's husband was still living. Boy, and they staunch Republicans, you know, and that's all you heard. And when Bush got in, you'd think
The world.
it was the president, and then he got to be president for 1 year. And
4
I
years.
still wish he was president.
4 years.
Yeah.
4 years.
4 years, I mean.
Well, you know, you can't blame any. You know why he lost. Ross Perot is why he lost.
Yeah, he took away the cream of the crop.
And I hope he doesn't get in there again. I don't want to see Ross Perot in there.
He's a spoiler for anybody that's running.
Yeah. He's an egomaniac.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny, when he first came out, I was like, wow, this is really neat, you know. Now I can't stand the guy.
No, I can't stand his voice. Boy,
That's
he
because
sure's
he
got
made-
an opinion of
That's
himself.
because he was lucky making a lot of money, and now he thinks he's great enough to be president. The most important man in the world is the president of the United States. You imagine that Perot could be that? Of course not.
Well, who's the first president you guys remember? Have a good, like, for me, my first president that I can really, I mean, I remember Nixon, but I really remember Carter.
Woodrow Wilson was the first one I remember.
And then
The one that I remember the least about was Garfield.
He was vice
He
president,
was-
also.
Garfield was president, and then somebody
Oh,
murdered
yeah,
him.
that's right, that's right.
And you remember that song, "My name is Charles Cateau, my name I'll never deny," for the murder, and I'm scheduled for to die for the murder of James A. Garfield. And beat the drum slowly, and play the pipe slowly, and play the grand marches as they carry me on. Take me to the graveyard and roll the sods o'er me, for I'm a poor cowboy, I know I did wrong. That's what they sang about the cowboy. That,
who killed Garfield?
huh?
Who killed Garfield?
Charles Cateau.
And then Garfield, and then Wilson?
Well, I remember Wilson.
I remember
thought
Wilson
he
too,
was
but
very
who was
wise.
before that? When did Coolidge come in there somewhere too?
That was later.
I remember all those. And my grandfather didn't have his first papers, you know.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he kept voting for president all the time. And so did I. And my grandfather kept voting. He said they're never going to stop him from voting because he had been living in this country for so long. But they stopped me from voting because I married a foreigner. And I had to go to New York, to the place where you get your citizenship papers. And I have my first papers in my strongbox that I got so I could vote for president again. Never was out of this country.
Elsie was a subject to the Queen of Holland, although she'd never been out of Wisconsin at
Ah.
that time. When she married me, I was 18,
Right.
and I was still citizen of Holland. So Elsie became subject to the Queen of Holland. She became a Hollander because she married me. Then the following year, the laws changed, but it didn't affect the wives. So Elsie remained subject to the Queen of Holland, although she had never been in Holland, lived in Holland, in Wisconsin all her life. But that was a
And I had to go to New York and take, with all the other foreigners, and get out my first citizen's papers. And I got them today. So
And I
I'm
didn't-
now a subject of the United States.
Yeah. And I didn't have to take out my papers because I became a citizen through my father's papers because he took out his citizenship papers when I was 19. And all the kids under 21 became citizens. My brother Hugh and my brother Bill became citizens the day they joined the Army. It was for the First World War. They joined the Army, became citizens that same day. And they went to Plymouth. They were going to take a train from there. I don't know where the train was going to take them, but the city of Plymouth was loaded with people saying goodbye to people, to soldiers, that they were going to go down south to some, I forget now what camp they had to go. But they were Roscoe and Bill were ready to go, they were there, and I was there too. And then the train didn't come. And they got word that the war was over.
Oh, good.
Hugo was so mad, he said at least they could have kept us in a couple of months. Because he'd given up his job, you know.
Yeah. And that was World War I.
World War I, yeah.
Boy.
And I was always lucky in World War I because I was either 4F or something because we had a family, and then I was getting too old.
Leonard, I noticed something. You're feeling of your pulse all the time.
Yeah.
Is it skipping?
Yeah, a little bit. Not serious.
You better quit talking.
Not serious.
You think we need to stop?
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we've talked enough.
Well,
Yeah,
I forgot that thing was on.
You better try it out because I've been talking a lot of baloney. I could go on and on about some of the things that happened on tours.
Well, I just want, this is just a little brief segment of your guys' lives, and I just want a little bit of it, just, if I want to look at this in 10, 15 years, it's entirely possible you guys will be here for another 10 years.
I don't believe so.
It's possible.
It sure is possible.
I hope you may. Is there anything you want to say to me
I
on
want
there?
On there?
Yeah.
All I can think of is that we're so very proud of you because you are such a fine young man. Now you're still an elder in the church, aren't you? We're proud of that too. The only thing is I wish I could hear you sing sometime because you do have a good voice. Now I can't sing with you anymore because I can't read the notes. I look at a piece of music, I almost know it by heart, but there are certain words and notes that I have to see, and I can't see it. They just become a blur. I take a magnifying glass and put it over there, and it magnifies the blur as well as the letters. So it doesn't help me any. And then the doctor told me, he said, you are not going to be blind. You'll never get blind, but you'll never be able to read. You're legally blind, and you shouldn't drive a car. So I have to quit that too, I guess. Here they have a bus service that will take
Do you use that at all?
No, I have never been to, I don't know how they do it. And supposing I want to go to the bank, how can they take me to the bank and wait for me? They can't do that. It makes the rounds, you see. Maybe come back 4 hours later from the same spot. I don't know. I have to find out about it. But there will come a time when I can't drive anymore.
And that won't be so long.
No, because in November I have to, it's time for my
Test.
auto insurance, and I don't know if I'll pay another $200 insurance when I can't drive more than 10 miles. I think maybe
What would you suggest that he does?
I have to give it up.
Well, find out about the bus service, because, I don't know his situation. I don't have his eyes, so I can't tell what he's...
You talked to that lady a little bit on the elevator this morning?
Yeah?
She has the same problem, the same doctor.
That's too bad. It could be dangerous to both you and somebody else.
Yeah, I know it, and I'm doing the best I can. And I'm still, every time he goes out the door, I'm glad when he says, "I'm home, honey," because I'm not with him.
Right.
And I know he depends on me a lot to tell him when the lights change and you gotta turn right, you gotta turn left. I get so I don't really enjoy going out with him anymore because can't turn around and look at the scenery or see what's going on. I got to keep my eyes on the road constantly.
Why don't you talk to some of the people here and see what they do for the bank? Because they don't stay there for 4 hours. Everybody here has to go to the bank.
Well, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Oh, of course not. He just doesn't want to do it.
He just says that he knows that. I never wrote out his check until